Hello, guys. Welcome to United Bedtime Talks. I hope you are not into your beds already. Welcome to our talk show today. यार फिलहाल सही बोलूँ तो बहुत एक दिन हुआ है since our another loss, Dorchester. Again disappointed, thoroughly disappointed. कल ऐसा मूड हो गया था कि कुछ करने का मन नहीं था कि सिर्फ बैठ के सल्क करे. बस और कुछ किया भी नहीं है. शांति से सीरीज देखा, सल्क किया और वापस चले गए सोने. ठीक है. तो आज बात करते हैं व्हाट इज द रिएक्शन फ्रॉम आवर अदर पैनलिस्ट आकाश, मुदित, अनुराग और विघ्नेश. उनका क्या रिएक्शन है, क्या हो रहा है अपने साथ, क्या करना चाहिए. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं आकाश से. आकाश, व्हाट्स योर रिएक्शन?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आफ्टर लुकिंग एट स्पर्स वुल्व्स मैच अभी मैं देख रहा था, जो कि अपने बिगेस्ट थ्रेट है टुवर्ड्स टॉप फोर. ड्रॉप पॉइंट्स लाइक दिस टू वुल्व्स, सो इट इज इवन मोर फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग. एंड कल का जो फैमिलियर फीलिंग्स था अगेन फर्स्ट हाफ का परफॉर्मेंस, इट वाज वेरी एनकरेजिंग. उसके बाद if you see second half again, at the exact same time to the minute we considered the goal. और उसके बाद वही सेम टूथलुसनेस, मतलब दो तीन चांसेस भी मिले बट वी डिडंट कन्वर्ट. फर्स्ट हाफ में भी सेम स्टोरी अगेन. वन ऑफ द थिंग्स मतलब दैट इरिटेटेड मी वाज द सब्स्टिट्यूशंस. इट केम वेरी लेट फॉर माय लाइकिंग. सो आप देख रहे हो कि मैच का मतलब एकदम मोमेंटम शिफ्ट हो चुका है फ्रॉम 45-50 मिनट्स ऑनवर्ड्स. यू वेट टिल 75-80. इस चीज के लिए हम ओले को भी गाली देते थे. Lots of people criticized Ole. So it was again very disheartening to see. So on the whole, I have very little hope left for top four. But even more concerning is the form of our strikers. Ronaldo हो गया, Rashford हो गया, Sancho दिखा रहा है अभी अपना his class we always knew which he had, and Bruno was again concerning second half. Pogba glimpses, and बाकी डिफेंडर्स तो again same old same old.
मुदित, आपका क्या ख्याल है?
मैंने को तो बहुत कुछ है भाई बट इट पता नहीं. इट वाज टिपिकल टू सी व्हाट यूनाइटेड डिड. I wasn't surprised and I won't be if it happens again in the future. um, it's not even about coordination now. I mean, I don't think अपन वो भी point out कर सकते हैं कि टीम cohesive नहीं है, they are not coordinating well, but it's just a simple mentality fact that we can't close games now. It's kind of being proven over and over again. And मतलब, by telling players what they can do or what they should do, I don't think it just limits to that, because players instructions follow करते हैं, but एक certain limit के बाद
मुदित
they
भाई,
are,
क्या इंस्ट्रक्शंस फॉलो करते हैं, क्या
I mean,
इंस्ट्रक्शंस फॉलो
see,
करते हैं? देयर वाज अ मोमेंट इन सेकंड हाफ जब लूक शॉ बॉल लूज किया, रशफोर्ड आगे था, रशफोर्ड या सांचो, एंड पीछे हैरी मैग्वायर था. बॉल पता है लूज हो गया है, रशफोर्ड खड़ा होके देख रहा है कि बॉल जा रहा है, ये मैच हो रहा है. वो फिर धीरे धीरे रन करना स्टार्ट करता है. एट दैट मोमेंट आई फेल्ट दैट लूक शॉ शुड बी सब्स्टिट्यूटेड, एंड द सेकंड थॉट इन माय माइंड वाज he should be sold.
like, I mean,
Luke
for
Shaw is
someone,
one of my favorite players.
no, I know. For someone who's like a manager like Ralf, who's known as the father of gegenpressing, it's really shocking to see the players not given effect, given the effort that that's required out of them. I mean, people will point out Maguire, and they are right to do so. I don't know what he's up to, and why is he still starting for Manchester United. I mean, Phil Jones played one hell of a game in his return and then is not seen again. So there are a lot of things that that you could say are going wrong here, but it still depends. It still depends on what Ralph is looking at in this squad.
Anurag, what are your thoughts on yesterday's games? Frankly, मुझे तो बहुत गुस्सा आया है, and I've had enough. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, even to a certain extent Cristiano Ronaldo. जितना अच्छा दूसरा होम कमिंग था, he has been playing like a 5-year-old जो इतना बड़ा बॉल लेके गार्डन में खेलता है और जिसको ऐसे बॉल टच करो तो पता नहीं कहाँ चला जाता है, और कभी कभी बॉल के पीछे भाग लेता है वो बच्चा, ज्यादा दूर चला गया तो उसको पड़ी नहीं होती है बॉल की वो, ठीक है, फिर वो जाने और उसके माँ बाप जाने। मेरे को ऐसा फील आ रहा है उससे।
हम रोनाल्डो पे यार इंडिविजुअल प्लेयर को मैं ब्लेम नहीं करूंगा, वो भी रोनाल्डो जैसे प्लेयर को, स्पेशली बिकॉज एक तो ट्रांजिशन, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू रियलाइज वो किसी अपने प्री मैच सीजन के उसमें नहीं आया, कोई वार्म अप नहीं है उसका, कोई टीम के साथ ट्रेनिंग नहीं है। देन ही हैड टू गो थ्रू सर्टेन ट्रांजिशंस फ्रॉम ओले टू कैरेक टू रैल्फ, और रैल्फ के आने के बाद स्पेशली उसका सारा फोकस, जो सारा मीडिया क्रिटिसिज्म रहा, सारा का सारा वाज अबाउट हिज प्रेसिंग, which for me was never an issue. मैं सीजन के स्टार्ट से बोल रहा हूँ कि भाई जो इशू रोनाल्डो के साथ है वो फिनिशिंग को लेके हो रहा है, ही इज जस्ट दैट 0.12 seconds लेट इन रीचिंग द बॉल और मीटिंग द बॉल, वो मेरे लिए स्टार्ट से इशू था। तो यू हैव टू सी कि उसने अपना गेम को मोल्ड करने का ट्राई किया है टू सूट रैल्फ स्टाइल, और वो हमने फर्स्ट गेम में पैलेस के अगेंस्ट देखा भी था, एंड सिंस देन आई थिंक वो स्टैट कोई मेरे को मिला नहीं, बट हिज रनिंग नंबर्स हैव इम्प्रूव्ड फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड। तो हाँ ठीक है, बट रोनाल्डो स्टिल हैड अ वेरी
Anurag,
पुअर गेम एंड
running numbers aside, if you
एंड
see, running numbers aside, if you see his heading, his finishing, मतलब everything, मतलब even his positioning to some extent, मतलब he reaches some balls too late जब तक defenders are getting back. Don't you think his overall game has regressed, especially in the second part of the season, मतलब जब से राल्फ आया है?
नो, एग्री तो करना पड़ेगा, इट हैज, और मैं तो स्टार्ट से बोल ही रहा हूँ कि ही इज नॉट द प्लेयर दैट ही वाज इवन 2 to 3 years बैक, वो भी नहीं है वो अभी। ही वाज सपोज टू बी द चेरी ऑन द टॉप एंड नाउ हम उसके अराउंड ही केक बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो दैट शुडंट हैव बीन आवर प्लान, बट स्टिल जो भी है हिज फॉर्म हैज बीन पैथेटिक, एवरीवन विल हैव टू अग्री। बट ऑन द अदर हैंड सारे प्लेयर्स को भी क्रिटिसिज्म लेना पड़ेगा, स्पेशली मैग्वायर को। मैग्वायर का जो फॉर्म रहा है, मतलब कौन एवरेज डिफेंडर, मैं गारंटी से बोल सकता हूँ किसी आईएसएल डिफेंडर को भी हम अभी खिलाएंगे ना, एटलीस्ट उसका रीडिंग ऑफ द गेम और पोजीशनिंग मैग्वायर से बेटर होगा। आई थिंक इस पे हम सब एग्री कर सकते हैं।
कल के
विघ्नेश।
गेम के लिए जो गोल,
हाँ आकाश।
नो, आई वाज जस्ट सेइंग कि कल के गेम के लिए who was more at fault कल का गोल के लिए, वरान एंड डालो और मैगवायर?
पर्सनली आई डोंट, मतलब मैं ऐसे पिक आउट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि ही इज वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट प्लेयर्स, बट उस गोल के लिए आई थॉट मैकटोमिने वाज एट फॉल्ट। जो लास्ट नंबर 6 का जो कवर होना चाहिए था, कौन था फ्री जिसने फाइनल बॉल डाला था चे एडम्स को, दैट मैन शुड हैव बीन कवर्ड बाय मैकटोमिने, और मैकटोमिने वरान तो अपने मैन को कवर करने के लिए गया, ठीक है, राइट साइड में गया, मगवायर का हमें पता है कि वो मूव करेगा नहीं, ही इज देयर एज अ स्टॉपर, दैट मैन शुड हैव बीन कवर्ड बाय मैकटोमिने हु वाज अलोन, किसी को मार्क नहीं कर रहा था मैकटोमिने, एंड ही इज वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट प्लेयर्स, बट कल के गोल में उसका गलती था फॉर मी।
फेयर।
काम करते हैं, रेटिंग करते हैं with the starting lineup and manager rating, and you have to pick one man out of the 11 as your man of the match. ठीक है, simple process. We'll
अपनी
start
टीम में
with
से
De
मैन ऑफ
Gea.
द मैच,
Yeah. How would you rate De Gea?
5.
5 out of 10. 6 is the average. तो 5 पे below
सेम,
average.
राइट
5.
राइट,
I expected
Akash?
more.
5 फॉर द हेयर।
Four.
Vignesh?
Four.
4.
I can
Okay.
see why.
Akash?
5 फॉर मी।
5 फॉर मी। हिज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वाज, मतलब 2-3 गोल तो हम वहीं से खा जाते।
Actually, yesterday there was a
Exactly.
situation कि एक ऑफसाइड था जहाँ पे आई थिंक it was Shaw who passed the ball back to De Gea, और मतलब before the flag was raised, he tried to pick at the left wing Sancho or Rashford कोई तो he tried to pick one of them, but he instead ended up passing to a Southampton player. So उसका distribution is I mean I hate to say it, I'm a huge fan of him, but it's pathetic.
And it's not just now.
And the same thing happened in the Burnley game as well.
I think मेरा rating बचा
Absolutely.
हुआ है. I'll still give him 6 average because कुछ saves किए थे उसने. He kept us in the game. That's why I'll give him 6. So overall average देखे तो it will be close to 5 in our panel. Let's move on to next. By the way, there is one news I want to talk about. There has been rumors. It comes from the Sun, so I'll take it with a pinch of salt. That
No, take it with a whole box of salt. It's not just
and
a
the
pinch.
news is Dean Henderson's girlfriend has complained of him hitting her. Okay.
Yeah.
So अगर option की भी बात करें, and if there is something in this, we will be left with the option नहीं है. Anyway,
I don't think बात करना
rumor
है
है.
इसमें. It's just
Rumor है. So keep it
unfortunate.
as rumor.
देखते हैं आगे क्या
Yeah.
develop होता है.
Let's come to our right back, Diego Tello. How do you rate him?
5.
I'll give him 6 because he tried to kind of at least do something different apart from just putting out ground balls to the midfield. He tried to see if Rashford can make a run by putting in some long balls. He's not. I mean, defensively he's not better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but as an overall package, I find him decent enough to start 12.
He's good, but at बहुत time ऐसे situations आई है in multiple games since he's starting to start on regular basis. When you expect him to put in a decent cross in a decent position in an attacking phase, he'll fuck up. The ball will either end up above everybody, or it'll end up in a crowd, or it'll end up back post far reach of anybody. So he still has to improve a lot in terms of crossing.
Makes sense.
Anurag?
6.57 because he was trying, or matlab
7.
he has the quality. 6.5.
Potential पे rating नहीं देना है,
7
match
थोड़ा
पे देना है.
exaggerated हो गया.
अरे पोटेंशियल पे रेटिंग
हाँ
देनी होती तो
मैं
फिर
मैच का ही दे रहा हूँ. 6.5
I think he was.
because he was trying and he has to.
I
Yes,
think
Akash,
6
go
for
ahead.
me. I think 6 for me because I felt he was slightly complicit in the goal as well. So he didn't track his man, and Varane again had to step in for him. And going forward, also his best cross came from his left foot in the whole match around 85th or 86th minute. So that tells you a story. So not good enough for me yesterday.
I'll give him a 5 because उसके जो crosses हैं, ठीक है, he is supposedly the better crosser of the ball, better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka and few others in our team. तो वो क्रॉस इतना डीप देता है ना कि वो गोल पोस्ट डी सबके बाहर जाके तो गिरता है, ठीक है. तो क्रॉस का पॉइंट क्या है मुझे समझ नहीं आता है. एंड ऐसा नहीं कि वो एक बार करता है, वो बार बार हर एक मैच में यू विल सी एटलीस्ट 2 to 3 क्रॉसेस व्हिच आर ओवरहेड, ठीक है. So I'm not gonna go lenient on him, and I can at best give him 5.
I
But
mean,
overall,
he was troubled by LNUC also. If you go to see in a big way, he was also kind of involved in that equalizer. So
yeah. What
So
about
Mudit, I'm sorry, but Mudit bhai, that's आप बोल रहे हो वो सही है, Elinusi troubled him, but that's Southampton game. Okay, उसके
Yeah.
पहले क्या है? मतलब he's still struggling with his crossing.
yes, he is no doubt. I was just pointing about Southampton for now.
what about Rafael Varane? My favorite, probably after Bruno in this squad.
5.
5 from Udit.
Why?
Others?
He
5.
looks on space.
5 from me as well.
That's very
Actually,
hard.
yesterday, no, actually, जैसे you guys were discussing earlier, if it was Varane and Dallo or Maguire at fault, in my opinion, Varane and Dallo were at fault. But the problem is कि अपने दोनों ही centre backs ऐसे हैं who likes to play as higher as possible. So in that scenario, you want someone, either of them to stick behind, to hold their position. They don't do that. हमने बर्नली गेम में भी देखा Maguire stepped out, then Varane followed it, and we ended up conceding. Similar situation happened yesterday. So you want one of them to hold their position, just hold your position. I understand that we're trying to play attractive football and everything, but these are basic mistakes that have been made by our defenders. अगर आप लोगों ने, I'm sure you've seen images from yesterday's game, from our set pieces, how pathetic we are, both in attacking and defensive.
Over 130 corners, no goals.
Unbelievable, man.
Anurag, your rating on Rafael Varane?
7. For me,
7.
he was our best player. Yes.
If that mistake was by
मतलब
Harry
अभी
Maguire, हम एक एक देते उसको.
भाई वो तो वैसे भी मिलने वाला है.
हैरी मैगवायर
Exactly. Exactly. How the hell are you giving him 7?
सुन लो बोलने का मौका दो लौंडे को. बोल भाई.
यार मतलब मैगवायर को हम इतना रेट इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि ही इज कंसिस्टेंटली अ बैड परफॉर्मर. वरान का एक मिस्टेक हुआ है एंड दैट वाजंट डाउन टू हिम अलोन. अगर उस मिस्टेक के अलावा मैगवायर का फॉर एग्जांपल एक मिस्टेक हम हटा देते हैं गेम से एंड वरान का भी एक मिस्टेक हटा देते हैं गेम से, दोनों का क्या स्टैंडिंग है? वरान मेरे ख्याल से कल जितने भी लॉन्ग बॉल्स आए थे वरान मेट ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ देम. ही क्लियर्ड देम, ही मेट द बॉल विद हिज हेड most of the
जो
time.
पास किया था, फाइनल पास जो एडम्स को गोल के लिए, उसमें he could have done so much better. I mean, I expected him to kind of get that away, get that blocked, or could be, but unfortunate. ठीक है.
Another one thing अनुराग की, मतलब अगर सामने वाले 15 शॉट्स ले रहे हैं with good amount of chances, ठीक है, एक्सीज कोई भी बोल रहा है, we in our minds know, in our hearts know कि अगर ये गेम हार जाते तो we wouldn't have been surprised. It was piss poor. This
It's the
performance.
new normal, bro. Meet. वो तो वैसे भी it's the new normal. We won't be surprised by any loss now. Draw तो
I think even Ralf admitted after the match कि we were expected to lose. मतलब that is the reality right now. So for
What
me,
what is your
Varane will
rating?
be a 5. Varane will be a 5 because मतलब apart from the goal, मतलब I think he was complicit with Dallo as well. But out of 7 aerials, he won all 7, and they were dangerous balls. Broha and Stay Adams were doing pretty good on their own, and comparatively, Maguire had only won 2 yesterday, which was his best part of the game. So I think he was definitely better than Maguire even yesterday.
What's the best part of Maguire?
Maguire's best part throughout this bad run has been his ability to win the aerials. So every match he wins 5 to 6
That's
aerials.
why he keeps
Yesterday, I
hitting
think he
air every
contributed
time he
more.
tries to defend.
Yeah,
That's why he keeps hitting air every time he tries to defend.
yeah, definitely,
मतलब जो
definitely.
वन ऑन वन था जो he was at Dallas position, जो लॉन्ग बॉल था, he had a head start, ठीक है. बाद में पता नहीं कौन सा गरबा का स्टेप कर रहा था, गुजरात में भी नहीं होता ये, ठीक है. पैर निकाल रहा था, पता नहीं क्या रोक लेगा उसे. I have no clue how he tried to defend that. Let's come to Harry Maguire's rating. We'll start with Akash.
3,
3.
3 for me.
Anurag?
He was below average, and he didn't inspire confidence as well. Every time, I think apart from the chance you are mentioning, there was another chance which Bruja missed one-on-one with De Gea on the right side, on the Luke Shaw's side. So he was on the heels of Bruja, but Bruja gave him the turn and easily passed him away. So he's a 20-year-old striker who is playing in his first season. So not at all inspiring confidence in the defense. So 3 for me. Again poor. And also he missed.
Anurag,
I think he had 2 chances to put us on goal. Again, 2 chances is a lot. I think at least he could have made it slightly, taken one of them. But again, it was that kind of a match.
Anurag, what are your thoughts? मगवार को डिफेंडिंग करना आता है?
स्टॉप करना आता है उसे प्लेयर्स को, डिफेंडर नहीं है, प्रीमियर लीग
ये
लेवल का तो बिल्कुल भी
sarcastically
नहीं
था
है।
कि
नहीं
ओके,
नहीं, ऑनेस्ट आंसर है। और मतलब
अच्छा मुझे
अगर
लगा
वो
वो
हमारा
डिफेंड
कोई
वो
और प्लेयर होता ना, इतनी मिस्टेक्स, कोई और प्लेयर होता तो मैं भी शायद आकाश की तरह 3 या 4 रेट कर देता कि ठीक है, बट बिकॉज ही हैज बीन मेकिंग दीज मिस्टेक्स अगेन एंड अगेन एंड ही इज आवर कैप्टन, आई विल गिव हिम अ रेटिंग ऑफ 1।
1. Wow. Okay. Mudit?
I agree with what Anurag said. I won't be giving him a 1. I will be giving him more than that. But he's the club captain. For fuck's sake, the guy is a club captain. I don't think I've ever seen a worse captain than him. Never. I mean, he's he. पता नहीं यार, he's more of a problem than a solution. At this moment, he feels this way. I mean, it feels this way. But Broha kind of destroyed him yesterday, and it didn't come as a surprise. Uh, that's why I feel that he should be
Acidity.
concentrating. He should be concentrating
Acidity.
more on bring players down up
वो
front.
इतना ज्यादा है ना हमको, वो एंटीबायोटिक से ही ठीक हो जाएगा।
ये वही दिया ना एंटीबायोटिक, ये इससे
Vignesh,
कम
can
होगा
you
गले
ये
का,
कौन सी है?
ये गले का कम
Vignesh?
होगा।
नहीं फर्क पड़ा ना तो डॉक्स की
Vignesh?
25।
मैंने कर दिया म्यूट उसको।
हाँ ठीक है। तो I mean,
मैं एक मिनट मुदित भाई, मतलब अभी जो बात कर रहे थे वो ब्रोहा वाला मोमेंट कितना एम्बैरेसिंग था, उतना एम्बैरेसिंग
बहुत
किसी को नहीं देखा हमने यूनाइटेड की शर्ट में, किसी को भी नहीं। वर्स्ट से वर्स्ट प्लेयर ऑन हिज वर्स्ट डे उतना बेकार नहीं करता।
Broha finished him yesterday. Broha proved why Maguire should not be starting games until he proves that he's worthy of starting them. I wouldn't really mind Phil Jones starting for us now. It's I mean I can't even say it's reached that stage. I've No matter how much hate Jones has got, I still think there's a footballer
Jones
there.
is actually a good option.
Yeah,
At least that guy gives 100% on his Manchester United appearances.
yeah,
भाई
exactly.
मेहनत
And
करता है.
the fact that he's been there from the era that kind of is needed in our team, that mentality which is needed in our team, he's been from that era with Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo was way earlier, but Jones knows what it's like to be a Manchester United player, and the struggle that guy has seen, and to make a comeback from that, he deserves more chances, and he deserves more chances over Maguire to kind of prove that, okay, boss, I can get back to the top again.
I was left with Varane ka rating. I would give him a 5. And for Harry Maguire, I'll go one better than Anurag. I'll give him 2. Because he's a club captain. And I don't know why I am giving him a 2, but I'm giving him a 2. Okay. 2 bhi kyun de raha hu. Anyway,
And to
let's
everyone
jump to
watching,
Luke Shaw.
we are not targeting Maguire specifically here. It's not something that is coming just from the game or whatever. But if you watch the matches, you'll know why we are giving this rating. It's okay.
Luke Shaw and Harry
वही ना
Maguire.
मुदित भाई,
I was so vocal for
people
them last season कि जो क्रिटिसिज्म मिल रहा है वो गलत मिल रहा है, काफी पोटेंशियल है, काफी सही है. आई डिडंट वांट टू चेंज द कैप्टन. आई वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ देम हु सेड कि अगर यूरोपा लीग फाइनल में हैरी मैग्वायर होता तो वी कुड हैव वन इट. ठीक है. सो देयर इज नो एजेंडा हियर. दीज आर ऑनेस्ट थॉट्स, करंट फीलिंग.
Yeah, Anurag, you were
yes,
saying something.
हाँ मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ मुदित भाई कि पीपल हैव अ थॉट कि वी आर, मतलब हम वी नहीं, इन द जनरल डिस्कोर्स देयर इज एन एजेंडा अगेंस्ट मैगवायर। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है भाई, जस्ट वॉच हिज गेम्स, वॉच हाउ ही प्लेज। मतलब इट्स नॉट अ जजमेंट ऑफ मैगवायर द पर्सन, हम जो देख रहे हैं उसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं भाई। वो ही इज नॉट अ गुड प्लेयर फॉर मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड
एक
अभी
जो
तो बिल्कुल
एनालॉजी
भी नहीं।
बनता है दैट इज विराट कोहली, इंडियाज क्रिकेट टीम कैप्टन, एक्स फॉर्मर क्रिकेट टीम कैप्टन नाउ. he is playing at a good level still, बट क्योंकि वो सेंचुरी नहीं मार रहा है, क्योंकि मैचेस नहीं जीते जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, पीपल आर स्टिल क्रिटिसाइजिंग हिम, तो कैप्टन विल हैव दैट फर्स्ट आई कि व्हाट इज द कैप्टन डूइंग, ही इज अ कैप्टन फॉर अ ब्लडी रीजन. अगर वो चुनाव कर रहा है तो he doesn't deserve to be there.
To be honest, I
Let's
think
come.
as a club, United, Manchester United, from I understand why Ole gave Maguire captaincy, because that was a team. Young left the captaincy in the middle of the season and went to Inter Milan. There was no way. There was De Gea or Rashford as two options. Pogba was injured and Mattis was in and out of the team. I understood why Ole gave him that. But as a team, the team Manchester United in 2011, 21, 22, it is not a team in which Maguire should be captain. I think it should be changed. You cannot captain Varane, Ronaldo, Pogba, Bruno with such performances season long. This has been 7 months since season started. So I think it's
I
high time.
I agree, Akash, and I frankly speaking, according to me, the captain's position is overrated these days in football. I don't agree with the point that there should be a leader. Mind you, there
Yeah.
should be a leader in the team, and there can be multiple leaders. There can be positional leaders. There can be players who know their roles in each position in the game. One can be a defensive leader. One can be a midfield leader. One can be a striking leader. It all depends. You cannot just have one captain these days. You go to see other teams, they have
Mhm.
like leaders, but they also have positional leaders who take who take responsibility of their own gameplay. A captain is just needed to marshal the players around him. और Maguire से ये भी नहीं हो रहा है.
I slightly disagree here. Imagine Cantona's or Roy Keane's or even Wayne Rooney's as a captain. वो कैप्टन होते हैं and Harry Maguire captain होता है. Would you think that there will be a visible difference जो attitude में है? If a player makes a mistake, Wayne Rooney will have a go at them. You know, कच्चा चबाजा आएगा if I use the Hindi here. You cannot play like a brain fart again and again. You cannot. Let's come to another brain fart of yesterday. Luke Shaw. How would you guys rate him?
Walker Peters destroyed him yesterday.
Uh, 5.
Yeah,
For me, 5 as well. Not for the reason. Matlab, agree with Mudit Bhai. Walker Peters had a good game against him yesterday, but we have seen 2 matches now where he has been caught, matlab, not maintaining the line. I know United don't play offside trap, but no matter the situation, you always have to be back from your centre back. You should maintain the line behind him. And both occasions, he was ahead of Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane. So these are basic, matlab, schoolboy mistakes, matlab, which is not expected out of any player of Manchester United. So these were brain fart moments, as Mead said. So 5 for me.
Anurag?
वही रीडिंग ऑफ वो मरीनो ने बोला था ना कि वन ऑफ द गेम्स शॉ का बहुत बढ़िया गेम गया था अंडर मरीनो, एंड आफ्टर दैट मरीनो केम इन एंड सेड कि या शॉ वाज ब्रिलियंट बट आई वाज द वन प्लेइंग फॉर हिम. तो वही है शॉ का रीडिंग. वो मरीनो वाज राइट, शॉ का रीडिंग नहीं है गेम का बिल्कुल भी, बट ही हैज गॉट गुड बॉल कैरिंग एबिलिटी. बार बार देखा हमने, और वो भी लेकिन कंसिस्टेंट नहीं है. रेटिंग में क्या ही बोलूं यार, 4-5 समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Personally, I would give him a 2. Okay, 2. I think he was the first one that should have been substituted. कोई chance नहीं है कि he should have survived the whole game. इतना out of positions time and again and jog कर रहा है बंदा. He was jogging. मतलब एक sprint में अगर थक जाता है तो he should sit there with Nemanja Matic and have good drinks. Juice पियो, मत खेलो. Just play the fucking, for some. Don't even play in the championship. You don't deserve to be in championship with such performances. तुमको और खा जाएंगे उधर. Go to some good leagues, शांत league जहाँ पर जाओ, ठीक है, and Luke Shaw is one of my favorite players. It hurts my heart to talk about him like this, but I cannot give him more than 2. इतनी बार ओपन हुआ है, इतनी बार बंदा कल ओपन हुआ है. It was terrible to watch, terrible. And I don't want to see Harry Maguire or Luke Shaw starting for the next match. I don't. Let's come to our next player, Scott McTominay. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he will be a 5 for me. The mitigating reason was when Pogba and Bruno, they were having too much space. That is too much space to cover for a single man. I understand Anurag's reason why he sees the goals. One of the reasons why the goal was scored, McTominay not covering his man, but it is too much space to cover for one man. We are compact in the first half, but in the second half, after the goal conceded, everything went haywire. Suddenly, we forgot the plan. Matlab, we are not finding passes. So I think he was average at best yesterday. 6 for me. Sorry, 5 for me.
Anurag?
Yeah, same. Bang average. He has his moments and he has the capability, but पता नहीं क्या पूरी टीम का ही वही है. 5 for me.
Vignesh?
Four for me. Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Mudit is with 4.
Yeah. Why? Because he was pulled into making mistakes by Southampton, and that's not something that a player should, kind of submit to, and he did. He was also booked, I guess, for making a couple of silly tackles. And if you're talking about Scott McTominay being the sole player in that midfield, in that defensive kind of a slot, it's not going to work. कल prove हो गया वो.
One point McTominay से मुझे ध्यान आया. कल मैकटोमिने का सेकंड हाफ का परफॉर्मेंस इसलिए भी बुरा था कि फकिंग कौन था, स्टुअर्ट एटवेली था ना, ही गेव हिम अ येलो फॉर नथिंग. अगर और वो बेंचमार्क था अगर येलो कार्ड का, तो सम ऑफ द साउथहैम्पटन प्लेयर्स शुड हैव गॉट अ रेड. दिस इज हाउ रेफ्स मैनेज द गेम. मिडफील्डर को दे टुक हिम आउट ऑफ द गेम बाय गिविंग हिम अ येलो. मैकटोमिने उसके बाद कुछ कर ही नहीं पाया, तो दैट कुड प्रोबेबली अ रीजन फॉर अ शिट शो इन द सेकंड हाफ.
Totally makes sense.
I would also go with a below average rating for him. That would be 5. Not good enough. जो 3 मैच खेले थे बीच में, जिसमें से 2 मैन ऑफ द मैच हुए थे फॉर स्कॉट. दिस इज बिकमिंग अ ट्रेंड कि आप 5-10 मैच में 1-2 मैच अच्छे खेलो, एंड दैट्स इट. You are keeping your place, but it's because due to dearth of options rather than your ability and your performances. छोड़ो, ability छोड़ो.
I remember one of my colleagues at 90 min Liverpool fan. Like, it's too easy to be a United player nowadays. It's too easy. I mean, I couldn't disagree with him.
Yeah. We don't have options in striker. Cavani पता नहीं महीने में एक ही बार खेलता है. I don't know. Ronaldo not doing anything has been piss poor, and you have to admit it. He has not been good enough. अपना midfield ले लो तो it's just एक बंदा जो starting name में आता है, probably 2, with Pogba coming in now after a long injury. So Bruno and Pogba, which merit or are there who can contest for a position. DM में Macfred, I have no comment on them. They've been poor time and again, time and again, time and again. People come up with different reasonings for different players. फ्रेड में आ जाते कि कितना एनर्जी है, कितना रन करता है, कितना स्पेस कवर करता है, पर कितना मिस्टेक्स करता है. हर 3-4 मैच में देयर इज अ मिस्टेक व्हिच कॉस्ट अस अ गोल. तो उसको कितना जस्टिफाई करेंगे. The definition of a good player or a world class player is for me is like this: कि you are average, above average, above average, above average in your 7-8 attributes, and you are good at really really good at 2 or 3 things. वेन रूनी का गेम देख लो. He was very good at 2 or 3 things, but he was above average in all the things. He would tackle, he would track back, he would give his 100% in the other side of the field. He could play on shoulders. ठीक है, he is not the best number 9 that way. उससे काफी बेटर नंबर 9 जो शोल्डर्स पे खेल सकते हैं, बट ही कुड डू इट. एंड उसका वो सब अफेक्ट, उसका क्रॉसिंग, पासिंग, तो all of them were average and above average. So that makes a good player. You cannot be deficient in 2-3 things and become a good player. That's how I look at it.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Let's come to our next player, Paul Pogba.
Who goes first?
Pogba was again 6 for me yesterday. I think he was the player who looked he could do something with the ball. He didn't lose too many positions. He lost only 10 or 11 times, which is great for his level and even greater for rest of the United players. He kept the ball, but again in second half he looked knackered. He couldn't run. He couldn't carry the ball. And when he can't carry the ball, he has this tendency to sit there and pick a long pass, which was not getting anywhere. So I think again average for me, but his on-ball quality के लिए अच्छे for me.
Anurag.
Yeah, I agree with what Akash said. 6 for me as well. Matlab, yesterday he was one of our better players, and that's some achievement for Paul Pogba. But भाई स्टैमिना नहीं है, disjointed हो जाते हैं second half में. But still, Pogba was one of the better players yesterday. So 6 for me.
6 for me as well. I think since his return from injury, he's been good. Mera only criticism for him is कि at times he takes too much time on the ball. Expect him to play a bit quicker, not a lot, a bit quicker. Sometimes होता ऐसा है कि he takes a touch, एक दो player उसके आंख पे आ जाएंगे and he'll try to show his physicality. कि he can shrug them off and everything. But that isn't necessary at all times. So that's the only criticism. But apart from that, he's been good. He's at least trying to take the burden off from Bruno in terms of creativity.
So even Vignesh, I thought of this for a long time कि why this is happening. But then काफी situations में I've seen that कि Pogba के पास options नहीं होते हैं
Yeah.
आसपास में. दूसरे players are not around him where he can pass it around and make it quicker. That's why he needs to hold sometimes. And वो time पे I cannot criticize him, to be very honest, because I have to give credits for him. In fact, ठीक है कि भाई he is able to hold the ball कि तब तक अपने players आ जाएं जो frame में ही नहीं होते, picture में ही नहीं होते हैं many times. Again,
No,
I
but
would go with a rating of 6 for him. Yeah, Vignesh.
I'm sorry, but वो बात that can be said about recent matches. पर अगर आप पहले भी देखोगे, I mean last season and before that, he keeps on doing that. I mean, okay, I understand कि I partially agree with you कि अपने center forwards are not flexible like they used to be, and under Rolly, Rashford, Martial, and James. They used to interchange position and they used to run quicker whenever our midfielders had the ball. But right now that is limited due to खाली दो ही players भाग सकते हैं, Rashford and Sancho, or whoever plays on the wings apart from Ronaldo. I'm not blaming him. He has passed his peak. He can't run like he used to. But yeah.
Mudit, what's your rating on Paul Pogba?
Pogba was, according to me, the second best player on the pitch we had.
Yeah.
Apart from another player that we'll speak about later. From the outset, he dictated play in midfield. I understand what everyone else told about what he can't do, but I'm looking at what he can do, and when he does that, he's unplayable. And for instances in against Southampton, it felt that he was unplayable. And majority of the reason for him being taken out of the game was because United lost control as a team, rather than him being responsible for giving away possession. Because uh, the whole team kind of lost their way around, as a team. We so Pogba obviously can't do much in that scenario because he needs players around him in order to move fast and make those movements and short passes and then run and then deliver a final ball or something like that. So it wasn't totally on him regarding the result. He was pretty damn good.
So what's the score?
7.
7. Yep. Makes sense. Let's come to our carrier for 2 years, Bruno Fernandes. Did he carry the ball yesterday?
So I'll go first. So Bruno, I think for me was again a 6. If Pogba was a 6, Bruno was also a 6 for me. His first half was matlab edging on 8. He made that wonderful pass for the goal. He was everywhere in the pitch. He even tracked back behind Luke Shaw in certain balls. But again in the second half, like I said, he went deeper. Uh, Also, matlab, he was affected by the substitution. He had to play deeper, and once he goes deeper, he attempts these crazy balls. 90% of the time they are not coming up this season. So again we lose possession and again we are subjected to pressure. We couldn't keep possession in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So that was very worrying for me. So again that is 6. And I
So
would like
Akash,
one
is
more.
it down to the fact that our team nobody is carrying the ball from defense to mid or and the forward positions, ठीक है? डिफेंस से
Yeah.
निकलता ही नहीं है, वो चार लोग खिलते रहते हैं बीच में, दगे थोड़ा सा प्रेशर आया, दगेरिया को पास दे दिया, बस वही करते रहते हैं, ठीक है?
And
सो
they
देयर इज नो
have
वन,
long ball, no one to hold.
नो वन टू होल्ड, ठीक है? इसलिए ब्रूनो बॉल कैरी करता है, थोड़ा तो आगे ले जाऊं, हाफ लाइन तक लेके जाऊं, और क्योंकि टाइम क्रंच है, चलो बॉल डालो. Is it down to that rather than him being able to play his game, or
No,
he's forced to play his game this
आई
way?
कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड तेरा पॉइंट जो है कि मतलब ब्रूनो को करना पड़ता है बट इन द लास्ट 10-15 मिनट्स व्हेन यू आर वन ऑन वन 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 लेवल विद द ऑपोजिशन आई वांट आवर प्लेयर्स टू बी लिटिल स्मार्टर डोंट गिव अप पोजीशन सो इजीली कोई कोई फाउल कर देता है कल एक तो मतलब ऐसे चैलेंजेस थे मतलब इफ यू रिमेंबर लास्ट 88 एंड 90 मिनट्स में वी लॉस्ट पोजीशन मतलब I would just want our players to be little more keep more possession in the last 10-15 minutes जो कि long ball से तो नहीं होने वाला. So they need to find a way.
Others?
5 for me. Why? Because देखो first let us talk about the positives. वो जो उसने एक spin किया था first half में, जिससे रैशफोर्ड को रिलीज किया था, फिर असिस्ट आया था सैंचो के लिए. That is something that only he in our team can do. And all my 5 marks out of 10 are for what he did there. Apart from that, I think he was a shadow of himself throughout the game.
Anurag?
6, 5.56. मतलब वही whichever way you slice it, हमारा सारा इशू वही 2 नंबर 6 या 1 नंबर 6 जैसा भी करना है उसी को लेके आता है, डीएम को लेके. बिकॉज ऑफ वहां पे जो प्रेजेंस नहीं है जो होना चाहिए, उसकी वजह से आर क्रिएटिव प्लेयर्स आर गेटिंग सक्ड इनटू डूइंग थिंग्स दैट दे शुडंट बी डूइंग. ब्रूनो का इतना ऑसम वर्क रेट है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टचवुड खरा कुछ होना उसको, बट ही शुडंट बी डूइंग ऑल दोस थिंग्स. His sole focus should be in the final third, on the final third. पॉगबा से कैसे लिंक करूं, सांचो से कैसे लिंक करूं, इसके बजाय वो बेचारा भागते रहता है, कभी इधर जा रहा है, कभी उधर जा रहा है, कभी शॉ को कवर कर रहा है, कभी डीएम में टैकल मार रहा है किसी को, कभी कुछ. तो आई फील फॉर हिम, बट लाइक मुदित भाई सेड, 5 probably would be a fair rating because of the expectations we have from him.
एक और चीज मेरे को ब्रूनो का कंसर्निंग लग रहा है हिज सेट पिच डिलीवरी. मतलब सेट पिच डिलीवरी अपना ब्रूनो और शॉ ही यूजुअली करते हैं. दे हैव बीन पिस पोर दिस सीजन. मतलब समटाइम्स तो फर्स्ट मैन क्लियर नहीं होता और समटाइम्स दे ट्राई समथिंग फैंसी एंड वी गेट कॉट आउट ऑन काउंटर. I would like us to improve on that as well. Because Rangnick is very big on set pieces. 30% of all goals are scored from set pieces situations.
And we scored one of them. Rafael Varane scored one of them from a Bruno free
Offside.
kick.
Yeah.
Ruled out. Harry Maguire. Not talking about yesterday's match. Before that.
Hmm.
So for me, Bruno was a six. Tough six. I think Pogba was better six. Yeah. But I cannot differentiate in ratings. First goal involvement, and second, एक time था when he was the last man for the defense in a counter attack. So the overall contribution due to these small things, I think it deserves a rating of six. Let's go to our forward players. Uh, I'll start with Marcus Rashford. As you know,
Rashford will be. Yeah, go ahead, please.
there is a very famous sitcom called Two and a Half Men, जिसमें the main actor's mother, she keeps on telling her son as a bitter disappointment. That's how I felt. A bitter disappointment again. Below average. He gave an assist. He
चार्ली
was
शीट वाले काम किए तो मेसन ग्रीनवुड ने है बट
Charlie
जस्ट
Sheen
सेइंग.
didn't, Anyway, so coming back to the topic, Marcus Rashford, he got an assist. He So there was a shoot of Ronaldo, one-on-one shoot to the keeper where he was free. He could have passed him and he could have had a goal and assist very easily. There was a Sancho shot one-on-one where he could have passed it to Ronaldo was running in offside and there was Rashford behind him. There could have been another opportunity. Throughout the game, I felt he made runs. He made some really good runs. But then why is he still a bitter disappointment despite being, the sole contributor of our goal in terms of assist?
I think
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer to that. If he yesterday, I was kind of also. I don't know if it could be taken in a passionate way, but the lunge that he had on Perraud, I guess, the Southampton player, it was a disciplinary issue for me. But I even felt okay, he's at least doing something to impact the game in any way he wants to. Uh, Baki to overall nothing much, bro. We expect a lot more out of this man. It's something that we thought by now he would be taking on the world. If we push roll the years back to his debut, it's like of course it's natural for us to think that way. We thought now he would be.
No, no. He has scored 20 plus goals in last two seasons.
I
So
totally
he
get
was
it.
on track. He
He
was
was
on
on track.
track.
Yeah, by now he should be like I. You guys can understand what I'm trying to
But
say.
then
He's
the
he's
issue
top.
is not with the numbers. अभी भी
Hmm.
दो substitutes से recently goal मारा है. He got an assist. So numbers are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. If you pick last 5 games, numbers
Hmm.
are decent.
Hmm.
Still why we feel that
He's not there
even
yet. He's
he's
not
not
there.
there, and he's not there, not in world class category, he's drifting down from a good category.
Yeah. Many people, I would like to point this out that many people also think that off field things are kind of affecting the way he's. I don't think so. I don't think. I think
I'm with you there. I'm with you.
I think he's too mature to kind of let those things affect his game. But if it's just temporary, I'm okay with it. I hope it's temporary.
on the whole, I think this season on the whole, I think
Yeah,
this
Akash.
season has been a big step back for us. मतलब all four of us, we do not believe कि Harry Maguire cannot defend. Luke Shaw is एकदम useless, or Rashford is मतलब again useless. We don't think that, but this has been that kind of season. Every single one of our good players from last season, even Bruno, they have taken a step back. For me, Rashford yesterday, he had 42 touches of the ball. He lost 21 times the possession. only 5 or 10 minutes I remember. He played for roughly 80 minutes. I remember 5 or 10 minutes he was useful. Rest he was drifting through the match. He was not tracking back. For me, he was a 4, and I feel I'm kind of being generous here because he assisted that goal. That was very good, but on the whole, the quality seems to be missing. And one most worrying thing for me is he cannot beat his man. Most of his dribbles seem to fail nowadays. Matlab, be it on the left wing or a right wing, he just cannot take his man on. If there is not space, Marcus Rashford is as close to useless as he can be in this season.
How would you rate him for yesterday?
I'll be a 4. That will be a 4 for me because he didn't track back, and that irritated me so much. Too much for the goal.
Anurag?
4 for me because of the assist. और जो उसके ओवरऑल फॉर्म का बात है, आई थिंक ही स्टिल क्या बोलेंगे, रिकवरिंग फ्रॉम हिज इंजरी, शोल्डर इंजरी, एंड वी हैव सीन दिस हैपन विद दीस काइंड्स ऑफ प्लेयर कि उनको एक
So
इंजरी
is
भी नहीं
it
हुआ
a
उसको, 2
confidence
इंजरी थे
issue?
एंड ही स्टिल कैरिंग थ्रू. नहीं नहीं नहीं,
I think it's
कॉन्फिडेंस का
more
कुछ
of a
नहीं.
confidence
ही इज
issue
बीन लाइक
because
दैट.
he has
कॉन्फिडेंस
recovered
इशू होता
from
है
the
तो बॉडी
injury.
लैंग्वेज में दिख जाता, बॉडी लैंग्वेज में दिख जाता है उसके इजीली, अगर कॉन्फिडेंस इशू होता है तो. पहले भी हुआ, बट आई डोंट थिंक दिस इज.
अगर
I
कॉन्फिडेंस
think
इशू में
since
बंदा बंदा
since
सूट
that
ले रहा
penalty
है
miss,
जस्ट बिफोर मिडफील्ड से, कॉन्फिडेंस इशू तो नहीं लगता. इफ यू लुक एट द काइंड ऑफ अटेम्प्ट्स ही इज टेकिंग, मतलब इट इज जस्ट दैट बिट ऑफ अ फेज
could be
फॉर.
overcompensating also. कि
या
overcompensate कर रहा है, not due to
नहीं, बट
lack of confidence. He's
दैट
trying
साइड
too
इज,
much.
that side of his game we have seen before as well now, so I think it's like his thing, he does that. So मेरे को तो confidence issue नहीं लग रहा है, मुझे physical issue ही लग रहा है अभी भी, क्योंकि 2 injury and he not only injuries, he played through those injuries in the लंबे period के लिए, and it takes time. उसके बाद reconstruction हुआ है, कुछ हुआ होगा, तो it takes time for the body to adjust. So मैं उसके overall form को लेके ज़्यादा concerned नहीं हूँ. एंड ओवरऑल
Okay.
वैसे भी हमारा सीजन तो गया ही है सबके, कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ रैशफोर्ड ही खराब खेल रहा है. एवरीवनस बीन लाइक दैट.
या
एवरीथिंग दैट कुड हैव गॉन रॉन्ग हैज गॉन रॉन्ग.
True, true. Let's come to my pick, my flavor of the month or the season. He's turning out to be the only bright light in the recent times. Only bright light, only shining light. The silver lining of the season so far. Jadon Sancho. जितना खराब उसने स्टार्ट करा था for the first 6 months, he looked knackered. He looked out of the pace. It felt like Harry Maguire of attack. It really felt like that. But then
बुरा नहीं
last
था.
last few games, last few games, especially the last two games, क्या पता नहीं कौन सा he has made a switch on कर दिया, light जलने लगा, and he's performing like anything. His dribbles are confident. He's taking on everyone in the pitch he can, you know, and he's playing brilliantly well. Okay, I would still rate him at 7, not more than that. But I think Jadon Sancho, I don't know if it's good or bad. He could be our savior of the season, and he only could be savior of the season. This is what I feel right now.
couldn't have said it better than me. I agree. For me, 7 and man of the match for our side, if there is such a thing after such a
Yeah.
performance. He was our best player yesterday. Really excited to see him every time he got on the ball. And I am also impressed by his defensive output. Again, that complaint by 70-75 minutes, everyone looks clueless in the team, not only him. But the first half was electric. Two or three dribbles, and he had Kyle Walker-Peters on a. Matlab, Kyle Walker-Peters couldn't deal with him for 2-3 times, so that was very encouraging. Really excited to see him what he can do for in this next March month. We have a City, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Spurs in a row. If we're getting out of that, I think Sancho will be that guy.
Others,
8 for me. Man of the match, best player of the game. Uh, what we
For
need as a
United.
for United, and what have been we been excited about since we started watching United? Being direct, being players who take on other players, some players who go great pace, they show intent, they move forwards, they don't just pass sidewards or backwards. That's what he did, and that's what we want in a United player, and he got rewarded for that too. So I mean, I'm not saying,
Finally.
yeah, finally, it's okay if he doesn't perform to this level in the next few games because we've adjusted to the fact that he'll take time. So let's not get over carried away also with that performance, but we should be happy about what he's done. And as it was said, he was the only shining light. Yeah, he was, and we are glad to have him now.
Anurag.
सांचो एक तरीके से ना अभी लोग सब बोल रहे हैं कि क्रिटिक्स जो हैं बोल रहे हैं कि राल्फ के अंडर में इतना कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं हुआ है हम देखे तो बट फॉर मी सांचो का जो परफॉर्मेंस अपग्रेड हमने देखा है इट इज अ साइन ऑफ थिंग्स गोइंग वेल फॉर यूनाइटेड एज अ टीम बिकॉज हम जो हाई टेम्पो और कॉम्पैक्टनेस के साथ खेलते हैं फॉर द इनिशियल 50 और ऑड मिनट्स दैट हेल्प सांचो टू प्ले हिज वर्टिकल गेम एक तो ये पॉइंट था मेरा सांचो पे सेकेंडली द अनप्रडिक्टेबिलिटी दैट ही हैज इन हिज गेम वेर ही कैन बीट द डिफेंडर ऑन द इनसाइड और ऑन द आउटसाइड उससे क्या हो रहा है कि डिफेंडर स्टार्ट टू बैक ऑफ हिम और ये चीज हमने रैशफोर्ड के स्टार्ट में देखी थी इनिशियल डेज में कि defenders were afraid of him and they were backing him, allowing him to carry the ball through and other players time on the ball. अभी क्या हो रहा है रैशफोर्ड के पास बॉल आती है बार बार देखना उसको चार्ज कर देते हैं डिफेंडर्स एंड टेक द बॉल अवे फ्रॉम हिम सांचो के पास जैसे ही बॉल होता है दे आर बैकिंग ऑफ हिम और उससे बॉल जा रहा है तो ये सेकंड पॉइंट ऑन सांचो as for ratings 7 for me because he could have scored one more उसके पास बहुत अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी था और he could have assisted वो नहीं किया तो डिसीजन मेकिंग का स्टिल प्रॉब्लम है बट वो पूरी टीम का प्रॉब्लम है सो मैन ऑफ द मैच फॉर मी एंड 7 पॉइंट्स टच वुड कुछ हो ना उसको भाई बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है
Vignesh.
भाई मेरा तो वो प्यार है 2 साल से मैं उसके लिए प्रे करता रहा हूँ आय 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 आज फाइन अब he's finally arrived. He took his time to adapt to the English league but now we're seeing the glimpses and the class player he is. ठीक है कल के लिए रेटिंग आई एग्री विद यू गाइस इट विल बी 8 he still can if you see his movement and his passing the only thing I like about him is he's not selfish. I mean, he's the only winger we have who plays unselfish on the wings. His priority is always to create. But, in every match, you can see he has at least an opportunity to, square the pass. He does it, but there's nobody to support him. So he's a very, very good player. Or I think he can still do better. Yesterday, he had an opportunity to pass it to Ronaldo, which I think,
Ronaldo was
he took
offside.
last. No, not that one. Not
Ronaldo
that
was
one.
offside by 5 yards.
Not that. I'm talking about the first half opportunity where he,
First half
tried to.
opportunity.
Yeah, he took the ball to sidelines. Sancho. He tried to pass, but he didn't found the space to cross. So he took it to sidelines. He ended up losing the ball. So apart from that, he's been super good.
Okay. Last player of the starting lineup. I'll start. Cristiano Ronaldo. 2 shots which I remember on target. 2 good chances. One where Rashford was making a run and he went for a shoot. He was it was fair that वो shoot के लिए हो गया. In the first half, open goal. At least he thought it was an open goal. ठीक है इतना स्लो शूट मारा कि माय ग्रैंडमदर वुड हैव रीच्ड 100 किलोमीटर्स बाय अ वॉक फास्टर रियली आई वुड पर्सनली रेट हिम 2 out of 10 बिकॉज उसने एक टैकल भी किया था एक बार वो दौड़ा and he knows how to run apparently out in the pitch as well. Okay, he has been piss poor. As I said in the beginning, he plays like a kid in the garden. He is losing the ball too often. He's not holding up play. Okay, उसका strength भी नहीं है, but then at least you expect bare minimum from a world class player. एंड जिसका स्ट्रेचर ज्यादा होता है उस पे यू हिट ज्यादा, beat Ronaldo, beat Bruno, beat Harry Maguire, beat Luke Shaw. If you have a great stature, even there, you gonna get criticized. And he is in a normal circumstance, he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start for this team. But lack of options.
I agree. I agree. I mean, in terms of rating, just because he's Ronaldo, the name, I'll give him 3. In the last 6 games, he's been absolutely pathetic. Uske finishing is below average. It's been poor than Daniel James. I mean, no offense to the player, but with all due respect, I mean, it's been pathetic, man. I mean, even you see the likes of Jared Bowen in the league. The midfielders are having more goals than him this season in the league. So that's not a criticism. I mean, he's still our top scorer in all competitions, but the chances he's got in the last 2 3 games have been, a kid would have scored in those situations. Meet, you said earlier that the first chance he's had in the game yesterday, and he took a shot like okay, koi nahi hai wahan pe rokne ke liye. It's an easy goal. So that's very poor. I mean, Pero, the left back, did well to cover up the ground, but come on, he still could have. नहीं तो and on other scenes we see कि इतने जोर से shot लेंगे कि it will end up in a crowd. So
Vignesh, I
power
want to
was
point
needed.
out one thing here. It shows lack of awareness. लैक
Exactly.
ऑफ मैच अवेयरनेस। और दूसरा
Yeah.
जो इंस्टेंस है मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि वो उसके बॉल उसके पास है, ही इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द अटैक, ठीक है, फ्रंट हाफ में, फ्रंट थर्ड में खेल रहा है वो, एंड पीछे से बंदा आता है, टैकल करके आता है, बॉल लेके चला जाता है, एंड ही शाउटिंग ऑन हिज अदर
Teammates.
टीममेट्स दैट व्हाई आर यू नॉट
Yeah.
टेलिंग मी कि पीछे से बंदा आ रहा है।
हाँ.
You should be aware you are in a fucking match, you are in a fucking live match, you are in the match. क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि नहीं 1 घंटा मिलेगा, नैप करने मिलेगा उधर?
एग्जैक्टली। आई मीन उसके जो ठीक है, कुछ कुछ प्रेसेस आप देखोगे तो ही काइंड ऑफ he'll just stand there and he'll do like this, come on, frustrated, he'll shout at his teammates. I mean, come on यार, आपको भी थोड़ा बहुत कंट्रीब्यूट करना होता है, ठीक है। I know that you're 37-year-old and you cannot press constantly, but the opportunities that the teammates are creating for you, finish them. हम लास्ट सीजन, देखो अच्छे से पता है ब्रो, लास्ट वी स्पोक एट लेंथ ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड कि अगर ब्रूनो के पास एक लीथल स्ट्राइकर मिल जाए तो हिज स्टैट्स विल बी इनसेन। अब जब रोनाल्डो, वी हैव अ आर्गुएबली वर्ल्ड्स बेस्ट फिनिशर इन द गेम, वो भी ऐसे चांसेस अगर मिस करेगा तो मतलब बोलने के लिए क्या ही बोले। इट्स किंडरगार्टन मिस्टेक्स।
How do you rate him?
3, as I said earlier, 3.
Others?
That's also just because of the name.
कौन बचा
Same
है?
for me.
हाँ आकाश, बोल ले।
3 or 4. Well, I'm just worried about, मतलब we don't have even an option. क्या क्या ही करे, किसको खिलाए? अभी कभानी सपोज फिट नहीं है, अभी सपोज 1 या 2 मैच के लिए, क्योंकि ग्रॉइन इंजरीज यार मतलब नोटोरियसली टेक 1 or 2 weeks. सपोज वो फ्री नहीं है, किसको खिलाएं? रैशफोर्ड इज नॉट इन गुड फॉर्म, एलांगा इज ए किड, we are going into one of the most important parts of our season. Sancho cannot play there. So I can't see even an option except for Bruno playing as a false nine or something. But that is not going to happen. So
अनुराग,
I just hope he improves.
हाँ अनुराग, रेटिंग क्या होगी आपकी?
थ्री और फोर बिकॉज ही इज रोनाल्डो और उसका फिनिशिंग स्टार्ट से पुअर रहा है, मैंने बार बार बोला। एंड आई थिंक इट्स टाइम एवरीवन एक्सेप्ट्स कि ही इज नॉट द CR7 दैट वी नो। नया बंदा आया है कोई एंड ही इज विनिंग, बट ये जो एटीट्यूड वाली मैच अवेयरनेस और ये सब वाली प्रॉब्लम है, फॉर मी दिस इज BS, बिकॉज ये आर्म फ्लेल करना, ये सब करना, दैट शोज दैट ही वांट्स हिज टीममेट्स टू डू मोर। और जो अभी मीत ने स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट बोला कि ही वाजंट अवेयर कि कौन आ रहा था पीछे से, यूजुअली स्ट्राइकर्स आरंट अवेयर, उनको पीछे से कॉल ही करना पड़ता है ब्रो। तो वो तो आई थिंक नेचुरल था, वो उसमें कोई बड़ा इशू नहीं है, बट हिज फिनिशिंग हैज बीन पुअर, उसी के लिए हम लाए थे, बट वही हाफ अ सेकेंड 0.5 सेकेंड्स लेट है हर चीज में, मूवमेंट में, पोजिशनिंग में, टू मीट द बॉल। बट लेट्स सी, प्रॉब्ली ही विल प्रूव अस ऑल रॉन्ग।
Anurag, I completely disagree with you, with all due respect. Okay, you are in the attacking third, you gonna get pressured, and there will be people around you because you're Cristiano Ronaldo and the number 9 of Manchester United. So if you expect कि 15 सेकंड तुमको मिलेंगे, ठीक है, वो भी तुम्हारे जितने पेस पे खेलेंगे, it's not possible. ठीक है, I understand कि मतलब हाथ ऊपर नीचे करो, it shows passion, but then you need to put it in action as well. You have to show it by the tackle he did, पीछे रन करके जो एक टैकल किया था सेकंड हाफ में, show it that way.
मैं
That will
इसमें
be
एक पॉइंट
appreciated by
बोलूंगा।
the 75,000 there.
मैं अभी मतलब बोलना नहीं चाहता मैं उस टोन में, ना मेरा वो मतलब है, बिकॉज आई लव द प्लेयर इमेंसली एज वेल। अभी फ्लेवर ऑफ
Everyone
द डे
loves the
इज
player.
वेन रूनी। नहीं नहीं नहीं, सुन तो क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं।
अच्छा,
फ्लेवर ऑफ द डे करंटली इज वेन रूनी, ठीक है। तो वेन रूनी का आप पुराना गेम्स देखोगे ना, सेम पोजीशंस में, सेम सिचुएशंस में मैं दिखा दूंगा कि वो प्लेयर्स पे कितना चिल्ला रहा है कि ब्रो तू नहीं आ रहा है, तू नहीं आ रहा है, ये नहीं कर रहा है। तो मैं समझ रहा हूँ व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से कि भाई यू आर क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो, यू आर द नंबर 9 इस टीम का, स्ट्राइकर तू ही है, तो तेरे को पता होना चाहिए कि कौन प्लेयर है। बट सिचुएशन में हो जाता है यार, वो कुछ और सोच रहा होगा, कहीं और विजन होगा उसका। टनल विजन तो नहीं है रोनाल्डो का, देखिए इस पे तो हम एग्री कर सकते हैं। तो वो पीछे से आना नहीं आना, प्लेयर्स को हेल्प करना होता है यार, मेरा तो यही पॉइंट है इसमें।
I'll so subs didn't get enough minutes, तो ज़्यादा
Yeah.
टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करेंगे. I don't think it will be fair on them. But I want to make one point here. Anthony Langa की entry and his substitution and his minutes and his energy made me hopeful. I saw a very confident player, which gave me which gave me थोड़ा सा hope कि something can happen in this match. And I would start him 3 times a week right now over Rashford. Those are
Agreed.
my thoughts on him.
Agreed. No doubt. I mean, he feels like a breath of fresh air. You can almost feel that he's kind of, he wants to be there. He wants to be in that moment and enjoy that moment, not be kind of scared or taken aback by the overwhelming presence of at Old Trafford also, or any other stadium in front of any other big players. He's a kid who's playing in a playground and wants to attack and score and assist. I don't think there's any reason to not play him. I mean, of course, no player at United is exempt from criticism, and it goes to another level when something happens, which is why I kind of agree with the fact of protecting him a bit more than what we'd usually do. But in such times, I kind of
Yes.
see that he should be starting. He should be starting over Ashford any day.
Let's come to manager rating. How do you rate Ralf Ragnick?
I think he will be a 5 for me. His setup was excellent in the first half, and he positively knew what was the issue last game, but still it happened again. So somewhere, some of the blame lies in the door of the manager. Plus, I felt the substitutions were not good enough. When you can see कि post 45 minutes, not even 50 or 60 minutes, post 45 minutes we were on the back foot. So we didn't try to affect the match with substitutions. So that's why the low rating 5.
Anurag,
I'll
Vignesh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll give him a 6. मैं ज़्यादा उसको blame नहीं करूँगा personally, because I think he's come in and he's trying to solve the things as soon as possible. वैसे देखे भी तो he's only has 6-month contract, and he's trying to do his best. I think we are already seeing the difference, in terms of our playing style, in terms of the way we're pressing, the way keeping the ball, the level of intensity we're playing at. Okay, the problem is we can only do that for 45 minutes. We can't do that for the whole game. That is still the problem. Finishing has been piss poor. I don't know how much time we've scored more than a goal in a game. So that is still the issue, finishing. But I would give him the credit for setting up the team in such a way जहाँ पे हम लोग on average per game we are at least taking 12 to 15 shots. That wasn't the situation before him. So that the problem is with our finishing. Apart from him, the setup and everything is pretty good. And
Vignesh,
yeah,
don't you
six for
think
us.
we are taking 12 or 15 shots? And I also agree कि मतलब defensive structure improve हुआ है, but this is against मतलब below 10th teams. मतलब we are
Yeah.
supposed to मतलब do that 12 15 shots. Do you think मतलब when we face teams like City, Chelsea, I don't
Mhm.
think our shot count will be that great.
No, I agree. I agree. But ये situation इसके पहले तो था नहीं ना. We never saw under Oli or any, I mean, all due respect, never under any manager we saw कि below 10th मतलब lower half of the table के teams against which we've taken 15-30 shots. I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So I think he deserves a bit of credit, but yeah, still a long way to go.
Anurag,
For the job he has been doing, I'd give him 7, 7.5. For the results, 6. बट क्योंकि अपना स्टार्ट से मतलब जब से एलवीजी एरा के एंड से आर प्रॉब्लम हैज बीन, इवन मोरिनियो के अंडर भी था, आफ्टर मोरिनियो एंड ड्यूरिंग हिज लास्ट ईयर द प्रॉब्लम हैज बीन कि वी हैवंट आइडेंटिफाइड द प्रॉब्लम. हम प्लेयर्स के अकॉर्डिंगली टीम सेटअप करते हैं, चॉप एंड चेंज करते हैं, ठीक है, वी गेट रिजल्ट्स and we don't get results. But for the first time after a long time, we are seeing a system where we have been able to identify the problems that we have in our team. So बेसिक जॉब है वैसे तो, नॉर्मल होना चाहिए मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड जैसे क्लब के लिए, बट इवन मतलब स्टिल उसने इतना भी किया है रेल्फ ने कि एक सेटअप बनाया है, एंड वी आर seeing improvement in terms of the gameplay, and we have been able to identify problems. So for that, I'll give him 7.5.
Mudit,
I agree, Anurag. Well said. 7 would be my rating. Why? Because he's he's brought in a different idea, and he's mixed it up, like he's trying to mix it up with the capabilities of our players. So he's trying to create a proper mix of his way of playing with the players that we have. And initially, when he came, I didn't think that would be um, so quick. That transition will be so quick, but I see it happening in the last few games. And it's still going to take time. Let's not get that wrong. It's not something that we should expect right away. And if he's going to just remain till the end of the season, he's probably just, and I've said this multiple times, he's probably just preparing a report card for next season, for the summer. And that's what his job is right now before he moves on to into a role that is expected out of him that he's been doing for years now. So on an overall rating, I'll give him 7.5 overall since he's coming. For the game, I'll give him 6.
I think I'm on the similar lines. Match rating 6. If we could have won, maybe it could have gone to 7. Substitutions again an issue. It's a recurring theme. Late substitutions. It's I don't know why it's been there for years now. Uh, so एक
I'd
चीज
like
है.
to say something about
Se-
this.
yeah.
सी मतलब हम लोग ओले के टाइम भी हमने बहुत ब्लेम किया सबको, अभी रैल्फ के लिए भी कर रहे हैं, एंड आई एग्री क्रिटिसिज्म है कई जगह, बट एक एंगल मेरा देखने का इसमें ये होता है हमेशा से कि इफ देर आर ऑब्वियस थिंग्स दैट एवरीवन इज सीइंग, लेकिन स्टिल भी एक बंदा जो वहाँ मैनेजरियल पोजीशन पे है जिसके हाथ में है और वो ऑब्वियस चीज भी नहीं कर रहा है जिसको हम सब नोटिस कर पा रहे हैं, तो देयर इज डेफिनेटली समथिंग एल्स. we don't know, could be an injury issue, कुछ भी हो सकता है, and that probably is the thing. या कुछ और, for example कल हाउसन के उसमें कोई बोल रहा था, even तो मैं ज्यादा नहीं स्ट्रीम देखता हूँ पर कभी कभी उसमें कोई बोल रहा था कि probably there's a clause in Maguire's contract where he has to play certain number of games probably. So things like these we do not know. तो मैं सबस पे मेरा इतना पॉइंट है सिर्फ कि we shouldn't read too much into it. Sorry, we should read too much into it rather than simply blaming the manager.
Okay, and okay, we can have different opinions. That's what the show is for. Although I really don't agree with this, because if there is some other issues, you substituted Lingard and Elanga, made it a 4-2-4, tried to rather in attack. You know, why don't you give more minutes to the players to impact the match? जबकि रैशफोर्ड नहीं चल रहा है, जबकि you are taking a midfielder off. Okay, that's why the delay I can understand कि ज़्यादा expose नहीं करना है. But then still, if you're gonna go for that, you could have gone it for a little early. You know, Elanga को अगर 15 मिनट ज़्यादा दे दिए होते, he might have created something. He was the beacon of the hope, as I said. Anyway, the second issue with the manager is that कि in last match control इतना नहीं दिखा in terms of second half. Okay, positive ले लिया 35 मिनट का, it's not enough. It's not enough. जब तुमने 75 मिनट का कंट्रोल दिखा दिया है, if you will show me 35 now, I'll not be happy. So I feel that aspect can be improved upon. Despite everything, there is a average rating of 6. Those are the final thoughts on draft Ragnick for me. What do you guys think about our Champions League run? Do you give us, we'll not have a long discussion on it, just the brief ideas. How much do you think can we go long in the Champions League? And first of all, I want to
I'll
thank
come in first.
Anubhav. I want to thank Anubhav for his comment. Uh, we'll try to, we'll try to. बहुत मेहनत करेंगे. We'll give good quality content. All of us here are into football since over a decade. So thank you, Anubhav. Yeah, Anurag.
Yeah, about Champions League सिर्फ मेरा इतना छोटा सा ही है, जल्दी फिर पूरा आप कर लेना. Theoretically, टॉप 4 फिनिश करने से ज़्यादा चांसेस है कि हम चैंपियंस लीग जीते. सो फॉर मी कितना भी अनलाइकली लग रहा हो अभी इस टाइम चैंपियंस लीग जीतना, टॉप 4 फिनिश करने से ज़्यादा लाइकली चैंपियंस लीग जीतने है. तो फॉर मी आवर फोकस शुड बी ऑन द चैंपियंस लीग.
100%. Perfectly agree. I mean, that's what I've been thinking in the last fortnight or so. I think we can give it a shot there. Yeah, हंस लो जिसको जितना हंसना है comments में. It doesn't look as likely, but if you go to see, if we speak about on the night performances and over 2 legs, we can do it. There's because I think we have to give more than 100% there because we don't have the league now, and it's also a way to get top 4. So I am optimistic on that. I'm pretty positive.
I don't
In as
I don't feel as confident for the Champions League run because there is no more away goal rule. So I don't feel ki even for Atletico I'm reasonably confident because they're missing their key players in Carrasco and was in the first leg, and they are on a whole they are not doing that well. But going forward for against cities like for example Bayern or even Madrid, I don't think we can beat them on goal difference over 2 legs. So
Do
I
you think
feel
we'll see Madrid?
we should.
I think both
Yeah.
Madrid will be out, by the next round probably. Unless Pochettino shouldn't be in the running.
Yeah, I think Benzema is injured for the first leg as well. Matlab, they have some injury issues this time as well. But I don't feel ki we should give up on the season because opponents around us they keep dropping points as well. Like today, Spurs dropped points. Arsenal may lose points. So I think we shouldn't give up on the league. We should play our full strength teams in both.
Yeah, I'm with Akash on this one because in as much as it sounds good to win the Champions League, let's be realistic. That's not happening. Even if we do, I mean, I do believe that we'll be able to beat Atletico over the two legs, which we will beat. But as we go deeper, we're gonna get the likes of Bayern and the tougher teams. So I don't think we have that. I mean, on paper we do have the squad to break them, but on the current run of forms, I don't think we'll be able to go through. Uh, First thing that, and I think yes, in the league we shouldn't give up soon. I agree. Because see, we still have what 13, 14 games left. So let's, even if we roughly win 7, 8 out of them, 7 to 8 out of them, we'll be able to get to the top four, and which I think will happen rather than us winning the Champions League. If we win, of course, no, we all will be over the moon because that will be our first trophy in 5 years. But I don't see that happening.
Before giving my final thoughts, I want to comment on Anubhav's comment. He's a Liverpool fan and he supports the Indian idea of Indian football perspectives. Thank you for that, Anubhav. I'll be very honest. Uh, we would like to see City win the Premier League over Liverpool. I'm so sorry, but it's a fact
That's
as a United fan that
yeah.
He
we
knows
would
that.
rather see.
He
Even
knows
he
that.
knows that.
He knows that.
तो उसको बोलो कि लिवरपूल कैसे जीती है, वी ऑल नो दैट। आज भी बर्नली से कैसे जीते हैं हमें पता है, जीते भी है कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं, इतने चांसेस मिस किए हैं बर्नली ने, ठीक है, रेफरी कैसे उन्हें जिताता है ये सबको पता है, तो लिवरपूल वालों
अरे
की तो
अरे
बात
अरे
करो ही मत।
Bhai Sahab, they win. They play well. It's like, let's not be
they
mistaken.
actually play really well.
They really do play well, and it's not something that we should discredit, even though as rivals. And they have a system set in place.
Yeah.
They know the ideology. They know what is expected out of them. Something that we should be aiming for. De do ab gali mujhe.
The final
या
भाई
या आई
बहुत
थिंक
दर्द हुआ था।
मतलब लास्ट 6 ईयर से जो भी बाइंग किया है एंड क्लॉप मतलब इतना मेहनत से टीम बनाया है, इतना अच्छा ड्रिल किया है, फाइनली देयर प्रीमियर लीग legacy is on the terms of Blackburn Rovers and Leicester, so they have done good in the last 6 years.
एग्जैक्टली
और उनका बजट
एग्जैक्टली
That
आकाश,
was harsh. That was harsh.
उनका उनका बजट सिस्टम अपने जैसा ही है। उनके ओनर्स आर नॉट दैट ग्रेट, बट उनका सेलिंग इज स्टिल
Yeah, American owners.
बेटर।
Yeah.
कुटिन्यो का मस्त पैसा ले लिया,
सेलिंग इज
रीइन्वेस्टेड इट
बेटर
वेरी
बिकॉज
वाइजली।
इसका नहीं, इस पे भी I'll say something, इस पे भी बिकॉज हम प्लेटफॉर्म क्लब नहीं है लिवरपूल की तरह कि यहाँ कोई प्लेयर अच्छा खेले उसको फिर बेच के आगे, यहाँ पे कोई अच्छा खेलता है तो वो कीप देम। अभी कोटिन्यो आके इनको बताएगा लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट कोई गेम होगा एस्टन विला का
पर
तो
अपने
देखते हैं,
में
बट
कुछ
वी आरंट
सालों
अ
से कोई
प्लेटफॉर्म
अच्छा
क्लब
खेल ही
कि
नहीं रहा है।
कोटिन्यो जैसे प्लेयर को बेच दे, वो
अपने में कोई
अलग
अच्छा
पॉइंट
खेल
I
ही
है।
नहीं
think
रहा
last
है।
5-6 years में एक मतलब उनका एक इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है कि मतलब दे हैव बिकम ए वेल कोच्ड टीम। तो जो भी प्लेयर्स आप देखोगे, जोर्डन आइबे जैसा प्लेयर, डोमिनिक सोलांकी जैसे प्लेयर, वो जा रहे हैं 20-30 मिलियन में। मतलब दे हैव बिकम वेल कोच्ड प्लेयर्स। उनका मार्केट में थोड़ा ये है, दैट्स ऑल। एंड दे गॉट incredibly lucky with Coutinho because Neymar thing happened. So that's all I'm going to say. I think they became very lucky. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, they were not at all their first choices. So they were second and third choices. So they got really lucky.
But we need to give credits to the scouting of Liverpool.
Yeah,
यार
that
mid-size deals 40
like
30
I
40
said,
50
Leicester
million
के साथ
and
मतलब yeah.
my final thoughts on
मतलब बिग अप्स
Champions
टू
League.
देम, इतना स्ट्रगल करके 6 साल में 2 ट्रॉफी एंड नाउ ऑन लेवल विद लेस्टर, बिग अप्स टू देम।
Yeah.
That's Champions League and Premier League, so yeah. Final thoughts on Champions League opportunity for United. I also feel that मेरे हिसाब से जितना चैंपियंस लीग का चांस है उतना टॉप 4 का चांस है। परसेंटेज तुम लगा लो अपने दिमाग में, ठीक है। चैंपियंस लीग 7 मैचेस है टू विन द फाइनल। उसमें से यू कैन प्ले 3 एवरेज मैचेस कि जिसमें यू हैव अ ड्रॉ और समथिंग, एंड 3 गुड मैचेस एंड अ फाइनल, ठीक है, बिकॉज 2 लेग्स हैं। this is the optimistic way of looking at it. But इसका reverse है कि if you play a bad match, you're out. Uh, top four, just because everybody else is dropping points, we still have a chance. But we'll need in next 14 matches, we need at least 30 points, roughly 30 points to secure the top four.
मैं
So
बहुत अच्छा
it's gonna be a task.
बहुत अच्छा चांस दे देता मीत, बट प्रॉब्लम इज कि वो 4 to 5 गेम्स बैक टू बैक आ रहे हैं, टॉटनहम, आर्सेनल, लिवरपूल, एटलेटिको एंड देन सिटी एंड देन चेल्सी, आई थिंक. सो दैट
वही तो
इज
मजा
गोइंग टू
आएगा.
बी अ बिग इशू. उसमें से मतलब रियलिस्टिकली वी कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट टू हैव 3 points इन ऑल ऑफ देम ना.
Agreed, but then even if you lose, you'll not gonna, you will feel. But then it's better to lose against a good club, a good top club, rather than losing to drawing to Burnleys and Southamptons. You don't like to see it. एक बार चेल्सी को ड्रॉ करो तो एक बार समझ आता है. ऐसे मैचेस ड्रॉ करो तो और ज्यादा दर्द होता है. And the best part about the top four is कि अपने 6 pointer सब बचे हैं. आर्सेनल, टॉटनम, वो सब मैचेस बचे हैं. तो if they go in our favor, we have a decent opportunity for top four. Likely, I would be rather glass half empty in case of top four. Okay, thank you so much guys for tuning in. uh, please support our channel. नया नया स्टार्ट किया है हमने. We had our first episode. We'll re-upload it. गलती से delete हो गया है. We'll re-upload it. It was the pre-match reaction for United versus Southampton. uh, Subscribe, look at it, and please share your ideas. Someday we can have debates. Even if you're from some other club, we can have live debates here. We are happy to have new people here. So feel free to give your comments. You can contact any of us. We'll make sure that. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you so much, everybody. Good night.
Good night, guys. Good
Thank you
night.
so much, everybody.